And here we go.
Let me read the question now. It is given that the equation of the curve is y equals to x plus 2 times with x to the power of -2. So the question asks us to find the gradient function of the curve. Okay, that is for the question part A. So let me read the question part B now. A straight line touches the curve at point P. The straight line is perpendicular to the straight line y plus 2x equals to 0. Find the coordinates of P. So this is for the question part B. Okay, so I hope you could manage to solve this question. Okay, if you can solve this, okay, well done guys. But if you can't solve this, don't worry, I'm going to show you the discussion for the question A and question part B. So let us start our discussion with the question part A first. Okay, question part A is very straightforward. So basically they ask us to find the gradient function of the curve. Okay, which means that they ask us to find the gradient of the curve. In other words, is the dy over dx. Okay, gradient of the curve. Another meaning for it is dy over dx of a particular function. In this case, the function they already give us is y equals to x plus 2 times with x to the power of -2. Okay, the good thing is they already give us in the index form, not in fraction form. So for the upcoming step, it will be easier for us to solve this. Okay, so let us differentiate this function. So from here, the dy over dx for the following function, okay, will be equals to 1. Okay, since the differentiation of x is 1, okay, plus with, so from here, so the -2 times with 2 you get is -4. Okay, and then the x remains the same, so the power -2 you will be minus with 1, so from here you get is -4x to the power of -3. Okay, so in other words, when you rewrite this equation, it will be 1 minus 4x to the power of -3. Okay, so this is your answer for the question part A. So let me just underline this. Okay, very straightforward for the question part A. After all, it's just 1 mark guys. Okay, just a one step working would do. Okay, for the question part B, they ask us to find the coordinates of P, and they also mentioned that a straight line touches the curve at point P. The straight line is perpendicular to another straight line. Okay, that means there are a total of 2 straight line and a curve. Okay, if you find that this statement is confusing, okay, what I would do is I will sketch a graph. I will sketch a curve and 2 straight lines. So it will be easier for you to visualize the problem. So once you can visualize the problem, then it will be easier for you to solve. Okay, rather than you just read and then you struggle to solve, just do a sketch. Easier for you to solve. Okay, so from here, let us perform the sketch. Okay, so from here, let us use some different color pens. Okay, so from here, our first straight line. Okay, and then the second straight line. Okay, make sure there are all, okay, this is just a rough sketch guys, so you should estimate like it is a perpendicular. Okay, even though it may not be exactly 90 degree, but you make sure you follow your sketch and you treat it as it is 90 degree. Okay, so you have 2 straight lines here. Okay, let us draw a curve. Okay, so let us hope that I could manage to draw this on a first attempt. Okay, I don't know how many attempts I'm going to get for the curve. Oops. Okay, so a simple sketch would do. So luckily it's only 3 attempts. Okay, so back to our work. Okay, so from here, let us write down the first straight line information. Okay, the first straight line information. Okay, this is the first straight line. Okay, and let us assume this as the y plus 2x equals to 0. Okay, why we treat it as the y plus 2x equals to 0? the gradient of this straight line is a negative slope, and coincidentally this is also leads us to a negative gradient. So for our understanding, we treat this as y plus 2x equals to 0. Okay, so make sure that our sketch is accurate to the close. Okay, so negative slope, so we just write the negative gradient, follow like the question. Okay, and this intersection point is the coordinate P, guys. This coordinate P is the one we're going to find now. Okay, so we have two straight line, and by the way, this is a perpendicular. Okay, with the green straight line. Okay, the blue line and the green line, they are perpendicular to each other, 90 degree. Okay, and now the first step is we need to find the gradient of the another straight line, in this case the gradient of the green line. Okay, that will be our first step, guys, in order for us to find the coordinate P. So this will be our first step, by finding the gradient of the another straight line. Okay, so how are you going to find the gradient of the straight line? The question itself already gave us the hint that the straight line is perpendicular to the straight line y plus 2x equals 0. So that means that these two lines are perpendicular. So when they tell that they are perpendicular, so which means that you need to use this formula m1 times with m2 equals to -1. So let me write here the step 1. Find gradient of the another straight line. Okay, so from here let us apply the formula m1 times m2 equals to -1. Okay, so by the way, m1 is already given in the question, is -2. In case if you don't know how I get the -2, basically y plus 2x equals 0, so y will be equals to -2x. That -2, the coefficient of x, is the gradient of the straight line. Okay, the -2 is the slope. Okay, let me just write here, guys, in case if you missed out. So y equals to -2x. So this -2 is the coefficient we are going to apply over here. So the m1 will be -2, okay, times with m2 equals to -1. Okay, let me just remove this. Okay, so from here let us find the second gradient. So the second gradient of straight line will be equals to, so to find the second gradient will be -1 divided by -2. So from here you get your second gradient is 1/2. Okay, so this is your very first step. Okay, the second step, what we're going to do is we're going to find the x coordinate for the P. So how are you going to find the x coordinate for P? Okay, remember, guys, your coordinate P is intersecting at the gradient, intersecting at the curve, and also intersecting at the straight line. Okay, and remember, this curve is intersecting the straight line at only one particular point. What does that mean? This straight line is tangent to the curve. So that means that we can apply this formula and compare to this value. That means that, so we can form a relationship such that 1 minus 4 times with x to the power of -3 is equals to 1/2. Okay, remember, guys, so this green straight line is tangent to the curve, and then we already find the gradient of this. So technically this is your gradient. So m2 is equals to 1/2, and this is your equation of the this is your equation for the dy/dx, which is the gradient of the curve. So this is the gradient of the curve. So now we can find the x coordinate for coordinate P. So that will be our second step. So second step, find the x value. Okay, so from here let us do the comparison. So 1 minus 4x to the power of -3, so we're going to compare it such that it is equals to 1/2. Okay, this value we compare it together with the equation of the gradient of the curve. Okay, So from here, let us rearrange this equation. So from here, 4x to the power of negative 3, it is equals to, okay, so this negative 4x to the power of negative 3, so we move it over to the right hand side. So and then this 1 over 2, we move it over to the left hand side, and then we switch them. So 1 minus 1 over 2, so from here you get is 1 over 2. Okay, so from here x to the power of negative 3, so you get here 1 over 2 divided with 4. So 1 over 2 divided with 4, you should get 1 over 8. Okay, x to the power of negative 3. So the another way to write this equation, so you can write in the fraction form, which is 1 over x to the power of 3. So x to the power of negative 3, so this is the way. So from the index form, you change it to the fraction form, equals to 1 over 8. Okay, so the 1 and 1 you can cancel them, so you're only left with x cube is equals to 8. Okay, so from here x cube is equals to 8. So from here to find your x is equals to cube root of 8. So cube root of 8 in this case is 2. So cube root of 8 is 2. So from here you already get the x coordinate for P. So this is your second step. Okay, and your final step is, guess what? Finding the y value. Okay, so from here step 3, finding the y value. Okay, so when x equals to 2, so from here you substitute this x value into the y equation, guys, not the dy over dx. Okay, many students make the mistake over here. They substitute the x value into the dy over dx. No, you should substitute into the y equation. So from here, y equals to 2 plus with 2 in a bracket 2 to the power of negative 2. Okay, so from here you calculate this. Okay, so let us calculate this together. So 2 plus with 2, okay, and then times with 2 to the power of negative 2. Okay, so from here you get your answer is 5 over 2. Okay, so from here you get your y value is 5 over 2. Okay, so let me underline this. So therefore your final answer, which is the coordinate P, is equals to 2 comma 5 over 2. So this is your final answer. So let me underline the solution for this question. Okay, so let me scroll up. Alright, so that is all for my discussion for this question. So I hope you understand the full working and the explanation that I've shown to you. If you like this video, make sure that you give a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon for more upcoming Add Maths tutorial videos in the future, and also not to forget to share this video to your friends. Thank you everyone for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.